Jane here, going to do a little bit of kids yoga with you today. So if you have some space and a mat, get ready. We're going to come down onto our mat, starting in our butterfly stretch. So we want to bring our feet together, hold on to the outsides of your feet, let your knees open out to the side, roll your shoulders down, and then we can start flying our butterfly wings. And what color butterfly do you want to be today? Today I think I will be pink and purple with a little bit of gold sparkles on me. And then we're going to slow our butterfly wings down and stretch all the way forward. Try to go all the way down to your toes. And how do your feet smell today? Woo! PU. I hope your feet are better than mine. And we're going to hug our knees together, give our knees a great big squeeze. And then we're going to take one leg up and we're going to walk our hands up that leg and stretch it up, up, up really high. And then we're going to bring it down. And let's do the same thing to the other side. Walk your hands up your legs, stretch it up. And then bring it all the way down. And now we're going to take both of our legs up at the same time. Stretch them up high. And then can you try no hands? Good, and we're going to bend our knees. We're going to come into our boat pose. And we're going to stretch our boat out, make it a really big boat. And then we're going to pull it back in, make it a small boat. And stretch it out, make it a big boat. And pull it in, make it a small boat. One more time, ready? Big stretch. And pull it all the way in. And hug your knees back in. And now we're going to rock and roll like a ball. Turn this way so we're on the long side of our mat. And we're going to rock. And roll, and rock, and roll. And we're going to rock back, and we're going to see if we can get our toes to go all the way over our heads. And then we're going to bring our bottoms down to our mat, bring our legs up to the ceiling, flex those feet, and maybe take a walk on your ceiling. And maybe you want to ride your bicycle on the ceiling. Or maybe you want to do some jumping jacks on the ceiling, or ride your skateboard, or just run really, 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 really fast. And then we're going to freeze, and we're going to let our legs come all the way down, stretch your arms up and roll all the way up and over, touch your toes. And then we're going to come all the way up. Good, and now that our warm-up is done, we're going to get moving into some of our animal poses. So we're going to go and roll over so we're on our hands and our knees. And this is our tabletop pose. And our first animal is a cat. So we're going to round our back up to the ceiling. And do you know the sound a cat makes? Can we all say meow, meow? And then from here, we're going to let our belly drop down to the mat, and we're going to open up our heart and lift our head, and this is our cow pose. And cows say, moo. So we're going to be a cat, meow, and then a cow, moo. And then we're going to find our tabletop position again. Just like a table, because our back is so flat, if we had to balance something, it could stay there. And I'm going to tuck my toes to the mat behind me. And I'm going to press so strong into my hands and lift my hips up to the ceiling. And now we're in our down dog pose. And what do dogs say? Ruff, ruff, ruff. This is our downward facing dog because we're looking down. And then we're going to bring our body forward. I'm going to go onto the top of my feet. And I'm going to drop my hips down and look up. And this is our upward dog pose because we're looking up. And this one we pretend like we're a wolf howling at the moon. Oh! So see if you can do that and move from downward facing dog, looking down, and then going to upward facing dog, looking up. And then we'll bring our knees down to our mat, and then we're going to sit all the way back in our child's pose. So we want to drop our hips down to our heels, stretch those arms out, and bring your head down to the mat too. And then we'll come back up into our tabletop position. Now here's another animal, and it's also a balance pose. This is tiger pose. We want to stretch one leg out behind us, and then we're going to take our opposite hand and stretch in front. And maybe you want to pretend that this hand is some claws, and can you growl like a tiger? Rawr. And then we're going to bring the hand and the knee down to the mat, and we're going to switch. I'm going to take one leg out behind me, and then I'm going to stretch my opposite hand to the front of the mat. Balance. Maybe you can become a little tiger here. And then we'll bring the hand and the knee all the way down to the mat. And then we're going to come up onto our knees, and we're going to do our camel pose. So a really good stretch for our back. We're going to take one arm all the way up by our ear. And then I'm going to lean back, and I'm going to reach for my heel. And I'm going to see if I can take the other arm up to the ceiling. And then I'm going to come all the way up, kneeling really tall, and take the other hand up by my ear. Reach it all the way back for my heel, and stretch the arm up to the ceiling. Maybe I can even look up to the ceiling too. And then I'm going to come up tall on my knees. And then for the last one, we're going to try to see if we can do both arms at the same time. They're both going to reach up. They're going to reach back for my heels. And then I'm going to lift my heart open to the ceiling, push that belly button up high, and maybe look back behind you. And this is our full camel pose. And then we need to carefully let go of one heel at a time. And then we're going to come back down to our mat and go into our child's pose. And take 2 big breaths there, and then we're going to bring our hands back in, and we're going to have a seat onto our mat and bring the legs out in front. We're going to place our feet to the bottom of the mat, place our hands to the bottom of the mat, and we're going to push our hips up, and now we're in our crab pose. And maybe see if you can walk your crab. Can you walk your crab forwards? And maybe you can walk your crab backwards. Maybe in crab pose, can you extend one leg up and bring it back down? Maybe try the other one. Bring it down. Now if you're feeling really adventurous today and you want to take a balance, we're going to extend one leg up and maybe the opposite hand. And can you hold it? And then we're going to switch. And extend one leg up, find your balance, and then take the opposite hand. And then we'll bring it back down to the mat. Bring the foot down to the mat. Lower all the way down. We're going to stretch our legs out. Take our arms all the way up. And take a big fold over our legs. And then after that, we're going to come laying down onto our mat. And you can lay all the way down onto your mat. You can roll yourself up like a little burrito like we do in class, or you can roll up like a sleeping bag. And then we have to take our 2 minutes of quiet time. So we let our body rest. And we just breathe. And we try to think of those thoughts that make us feel happy. And then slowly, first we open our eyes. And then we can get our body moving, wiggling our fingers and toes. And then we can bring ourselves up into a seated position. And then we're all done with a little bit of yoga today. So it gets you moving, get on the mat, have fun making some animal poses, and maybe you can make up some of your own too. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.